What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks bringing you some Go Battle League battles here in the Hisui Cup. And in my previous video, I mentioned that I was going to be making some slight moveset changes to the team that was absolutely destroying in this meta right now. And I ran this team for all 5 sets on my Twitch live stream this morning. By the way, if you have not checked me out on Twitch, make sure to do so. You can watch me do all these battles live. And the changes I made to this team, I put Close Combat on Lucario, and I put Hyper Beam on Barrel, and this team had just enough of a surprise factor to win me some amazing games. So I was actually able to reach, at the time of recording this video, top 50 in the world based on my rating. I ended up at 2929 elo, and so I'm going to split this video into a 2-part video here. The first part, we're going to be covering the first 11 or 12 games or so. And in the second part, I will showcase the rest of the battles. So I'm going to kind of talk through how to handle all these different situations and matchups. As always, if you appreciate the content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know down below what team are you enjoying running in the Hisui Cup. Let's jump right into these battles here. Gastrodon into a Lucario. Again, this is the dream. And there's the Spiritomb safe swap. This combination of Lucario in the lead and Spiritomb on the safe swap is still common, but I've noticed as I've climbed higher and higher and higher, it is becoming less common. But you can still see how I handle these situations. I always go into Lucario immediately, shield once, farm up a bunch of energy here, and they're most likely going to bring in the Lucario once again. I go straight for the close combat. This is a Force Palm Lucario, and they no-shield it. In the back is a Barrel running Water Gun. I immediately go into my Barrel, and at this point I can just go for these Surfs here. I just need to put it in a range where my Gastrodon can handle this, but you can see the dominance of close combat in that secondary matchup there. Totally nukes their lead Pokemon, even though I was debuffed. And they're still trying to play this out, but there's pretty much no hope for this Barrel, unfortunately. My Gastrodon is just going to be able to do too much damage to knock me out. I barely hang on from that Hyper Fang and am able to reach a last-second Surf. I can easily Mud Slap this down, and we are able to take that first game there. Good game. Gastrodon into a Shadow Palkia. This was crazy to see. The Dragon Breath damage is really adding up. Shadow Palkia is going to be able to reach an Aqua Tail, but they actually allow me to throw my Body Slam first here. And the Mud Slap damage is really pacing pretty quickly here. I'm going to let this go, and then I think I end up coming in with Lucario. Oh, I'm going to farm down with Barrel because I knew that the only move that they could potentially get to would be another Aqua Tail. And in case I couldn't Bullet Punch them down with Lucario, I did not want to have to shield. But they bring out their own Lucario. I will bring in my Lucario now, shield once, farm them down. Their Palkia could get to an Aqua Tail in the end game here, but let's see what they're going to bring out. They bring out a Shadow Dusknoir, and it's running Astonish, so this fast move pressure really hurts here. They do shield up that Thunder Punch, but I'm going to be able to reach a last-second Thunder Punch, but they farm me down with the Palkia. That's totally fine, because I have to save my shield for the potential Dynamic Punch from the Dusknoir. So, but I'm able to farm them down with my Barrel. I roll out them down, reach a Surf, and I'm able to take that game. They're really cool, spicy team from my opponent there. Gastrodon into Drifblim. This is not great. I battled a lot of Japanese trainers this morning, and every single one of them was running a Drifblim in the lead, followed by like a Gastrodon in the back. So really tough team comp to deal with. And you can see there, close combat does do more damage than Shadow Ball, but you still cannot flip the Gastrodon matchup. It's so unfortunate. So after this battle, I kind of made a change to the way that I play this situation. I always build up to close combat, but I'm only going to charge it to a Great. I'm going to undercharge it a little bit so I can get a little bit more farm with my Gastrodon. Swap into my Barrel here. They actually ended up shielding the Water Pulse, so now my Barrel has a shield advantage against whatever they have in the back. They bring out a Hisuian Samurott, which is also very awkward for this team, but I'm debuffed. Are they going to shield their last shield here? No! Even a debuffed Hyper Beam knocks them out, and we're able to win that game despite being extremely hard countered everywhere because of the surprise factor of Hyper Beam. Drapion in the lead, this is very good for me. Okay, Hippowdon absolutely ruined my life today. Hippowdon is such a great flexible Pokemon, man, especially on the safe swap. I think it's a very solid choice. In these first couple of games, I commit to the Water Pulse, but in future matchups, I build to Water Pulse and then I bait with Body Slam because I found that they almost always shield. I do shield up a Scorching Sands that would do a lot of damage to Bibarel here. Overfarm a little bit and going to throw the Surf. They commit their final shield. And then they catch on their Gastrodon. So this is kind of awkward for me. I still have to deal with their Drapion. And now they have a Gastrodon here. I really want to commit to the Hyper Beam and they let me get there on the CMP tie. Shields are down. The beam is coming to town. See you later, Gastrodon. Now they have that Drapion still. Gonna bring out my Lucario here, but I make a mistake here. I lost track of how much energy their Hippo had. I shield an Aqua Tail. They're able to pivot out quickly and get to a Scorching Sands and take out my Lucario. So a huge misplay on my part that my opponent capitalizes on. Really well played. Gonna bring out my Gastrodon here. I need to get rid of this Hippo, but they're able to reach just a Weather Ball, thankfully. I'm able to farm them down. I have a Water Pulse loaded for that Drapion. But this is not going to be able to knock them out here. This is going to be very awkward. They are running Poison Sting. Able to get another Mud Slap through. And the rollout damage is not going to register because I'm going to get knocked out. Do I survive one Poison Sting? No, my opponent played incredibly well there, and that mid-game mistake I made cost me the match there. Hisui and Samurott, kind of a core breaker here, and I ran into tons of Hisui and Samurotts that were actually running X-Scissor. So Fury Cutter has a fast move and then X-Scissor. I'm so glad that they let that Body Slam through, and they overfarmed. They do commit to the Icy Wind. Totally fine by me. They allow me to get to another Body Slam here, which is really good. And they totally sacked their lead. Huge misplay on my part here. I should have recognized that I'm not going to get to any sustainable damage here. And the second I saw the Ghost type come out, I should have immediately went into my Lucario because I just gave them all this free farm. Now this is really tough to for my Bibarel to handle because they can go for Dynamic Punch, which will one-shot me. They bait me with Shadow Punch. Amazing play. Things are not looking good for my Bibarel right now. I believe this was even a CMP tie right here. It was, so Bibarel does win that CMP tie. They double bait me. Amazing play from my opponent. And now this is going to be very awkward. What do they have in the back that my Lucario could beat? I don't know. I swap into my Lucario, and it's a Gastrodon. This is very, very bad for me, but hopefully I can farm down this Gastrodon with my Bibarel and have a Surf loaded. Close combat really coming in clutch there. I have to farm down this Gastrodon in order to have a Surf loaded for their last Pokemon. But this Body Slam is going to be coming through. Do I survive a Mud Slap? No, the Mud Slap is barely enough to knock me out. And because of my poor play against that Dusknoir, they're able to take that game there. Good game to them. Lucario in the lead. They instantly swap to Spiritomb. We instantly swap to our Lucario. And whenever you're in this scenario, as long as you just play it out systematically like this, you're going to have a significant advantage. If they ever shield this move, you can immediately go for another Thunder Punch punish, but they almost never do. And a lot of Lucarios have been running Force Palm. This one is also running Force Palm, but we still commit to close combat. They do end up shielding it, totally fine by me. We still have alignment and even shields. This, again, is just a solid RPS win here. There is nothing that this opponent can do if you play out this matchup systematically like this. Like, yes, they can debuff here, but I'm just going to continue to chip away with these rollouts and surfs. They are always going to try to save their final shield for their Lucario and be able to farm down your Bibarel to nuke your Gastrodon, but there's just no way that's ever going to happen. I have 2 moves at this point, so when that Lucario comes back in, I can chip it with a Surf, even though I'm debuffed. But I'm actually just not even going to allow them to farm me down here. I can safely shield this and then Mud Slap down everything. They do bait with Thunder Punch. Most likely they're running like Thunder Punch, Shadow Ball, but they're never going to get enough energy to take that, and we're able to win that game there. Drifblim in the lead, really, really bad. I immediately go into Lucario. And my opponent is staying in, so I'm totally fine with this. Anytime my Gastrodon gets to avoid a Drifblim, that is amazing. But if there's a Abomasnow in the back, that's going to be very uncomfortable. I need to wait out my switch clock here. Going to bring in the Bibarel, and they blind throw a move onto my Bibarel. This is wasted energy. Icy Wind debuff, no problem. Out comes Spiritomb. This does make this a lot more awkward for Bibarel to handle, but our switch clocks are incredibly desynced at this point. So I'm able to get my Gastrodon aligned with the Spiritomb. Are they baiting here? I call a Rock Tomb, really good for me. And then I don't want to have to commit another shield, so I will go for a Body Slam here. They end up committing their last shield on that Body Slam. So what is in the back? My Gastrodon might have some play. If they bring in the Drifblim, it is very low. They brought in the Drifblim, I banked all the energy, and they swapped to their Lucario. This is a very uncomfortable endgame here. I need to be able to land a Water Pulse on their Drifblim. So I'm going to save the shield for my Gastrodon, farm down the Lucario, and I do lose the CMP tie here, but because I saved my shield, I'm going to be able to CMP tie and shield that and land the Water Pulse. Able to take this game, despite a very tough lead there. Good game. Pyro Panda, I battle this trainer every single morning because we always seem to battle around the same time of day. Lucario in the lead. It was a Bullet Punch Lucario. And then, oh, this is a Hex Shadow Dusknoir. What a cool pick. I think this is one of the most flexible safe swaps right now because you pace to these dynamic punches incredibly fast. Have to shield up. I'm so glad my opponent is not baiting here, but I'm still in a really tough spot here. Gonna throw one Surf. Yes, the Hex is resisted here. But this Shadow Dusknoir gets to moves so fast here. And now how am I going to handle that Lucario in the back? They even wait a turn to guarantee that they can get this damage off on my Bibarel. Amazing play. I cannot Bullet Punch this thing down without tanking a move. So I have to bring in my Gastrodon once again. Body Slam is going to do almost nothing, but they do throw energy here. Now this is in a range where I can potentially Bullet Punch them down. They stay in, they allow me to get some farm, but in the back is a Drifblim. I farm up as much as I possibly can, then I'm going to throw the Thunder Punch, which should be able to knock out this Drifblim after the Bullet Punch damage has come through. They still have a very low health Dusknoir. They have one Bullet Punch on their own Lucario. Out comes Lucario. We're not able to reach the close combat, but we're able to reach the Water Pulse. So I should have recognized that I was not going to get there, committed to the Thunder Punch, and then Body Slam could have been enough to knock out, but we're still able to take that game. Good game. Tough battle there. Another Drifblim lead. We go into Lucario, and they're staying in. But look what they do. They wait, and they catch a Thunder Punch on their own Lucario. Really nice play. They no shield, and now they know that no matter what, they can still maintain switch advantage. They throw right before I get a move here. Nice. And it puts me in a very tough spot here. I cannot roll out them down. So I have to bring in Gastrodon. My switch clock is not up, but they're waiting out their switch clock, which is really good for me, so I'm not going to get punished. I can bring in my Bibarel, and I'm able to get some chip damage on that Drifblim, potentially landing a Water Pulse late game. I'd be able to knock them out. Out comes a Drapion, and I'm just going straight for the Surf damage here and see what they want to do. They let that go through, but this is getting very awkward at this point. I do shield up a crunch. They get the defense fell. And because I threw this immediately, they also snuck a poison sting. But I'm just trying to get my Gastrodon aligned to this Drapion for whatever amount of time I can to get any mud slap damage through. They bring out the Drifblim once again. I am over farming here, and so are they. They're committing to farming me down, but I'm going to be able to reach this Water Pulse. They have to shield this, and this is very awkward. These icy winds are not going to be enough to knock me out, but the Astonish, despite it being resisted, I'm never going to have enough energy to beat that back Pokemon. Really well played by them. Okay, Spiritomb in the lead is uncomfortable because in a perfect world, we would have our Lucario aligned with this. And if there's a Gastrodon in the back, that's going to be really rough for Lucario. They allow me to get to this Water Pulse before they even throw, and they shield that. I'm totally fine with that. Their Spiritomb is such low health now. I survive Rock Tomb if they throw it, but they do go for the Shadow Ball. Well played. I can safely bring in my Lucario, even though they're probably going to debuff me here. This energy lead with Lucario is really nice, as long as I don't get punished by a Gastrodon. But they do not want to be farmed down. They swap immediately into Dusknoir. And then they no-shield that Thunder Punch. Nice play because I was debuffed. I should have just went into Barrel immediately maybe. But I have to shield up this Dynamic Punch. Going to be able to get to a Surf here. They do end up shielding it. And they're able to reach another Dynamic Punch. Does this knock out Barrel? No, I'm able to barely hang on. But this is arguably even worse because it's going to give them farm on whatever they want to bring in, and it's a Togekiss in the back. Unfortunately, my Lucario is just too low of health at this point. They even catch on their Spiritomb. Incredible play by my opponent, but it wouldn't have mattered because I wouldn't have been able to farm down their Spiritomb anyways. The Sucker Punches would have been too much, so they're able to win that. Good game. Lucario, and there's this Spiritomb safe swap. We don't know what the fast move is on their Lucario yet. This opponent waits so long to throw a move here. They still go for the debuff, but my Bullet Punch damage really added up faster against them because of that. Are they going to bring out the Lucario? And what is the fast move it is running? No, they bring out Gastrodon. I throw Close Combat immediately because I don't want them to get as much farm. They're still able to get 2 Mud Slaps though, but that's okay. I can safely bring out my Barrel for this Gastrodon, and then I still have my Gastrodon lined up against their Lucario. So even though I'm down a shield, because we maintain alignment, things are looking very good for us. If this Gastrodon is running Earth Power, it will knock me out, and they are running Earth Power, so nice play. But now my Gastrodon is going to be the win con here, and I don't want to commit my final shield, because Lucario can potentially get to a big move, and they know that. I'm able to take that game. Gastrodon into Drifblim. This is terrible. I go into Lucario. It's immediately met with a Gastrodon. Really bad. I farm up as much as I can. And then at this point, do I go for the undercharge? No, I'm still committing to the excellent because I still have not learned that the close combat, you can never flip that matchup. So I think after this game is when I started doing the undercharge close combat strategy, because I just don't get enough energy here, and they punish the switch clock, so I'm still stuck in this matchup. I'm able to get to a Water Pulse. This is not looking good. What is in the back that I could beat? I do get a shield, thankfully, and they throw energy into my Barrel. Okay, let's see what they want to do. I can always no shield this. They have their own Barrel in the back. I'm debuffed, but I have Hyper Beam. Are they going to shield this? Are they going to commit their final shield? I have to shield up a Surf. They bait me. Really nice play. I commit to the Hyper Beam. Do they shield? No! And it lands, and I'm able to get my Barrel aligned to the Drifblim again, but this is not quite over. I have to shield up an Icy Wind. I could try to make a catch on my Gastrodon here, but if I fail a catch and they farm me down, that's really bad. We force the CMP tie here. and that's actually enough to knock them out. And we're able to take that game despite being hard countered all over the place. Stay tuned for part 2 of these battles. As always, if you appreciate the content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Best of luck with your battles, and I'll see you in the next video.